Hello, lovely people. So, I have no mic stand at the moment, and that means that I can't make any guitar, singing videos, etc. So, what I thought I would do instead is rather than ramble into the phone, which is productive, it's been good to every day check in and to share things I found and talk about the progress that I've made so far since making this active frontward assault on my health, my spirituality, etc. So I thought I would go through some of the things that I've been thinking about recently. I'll start with the thing that's had the most profound effect on my life, and that is semen retention. So fellow men, if you're listening to this and you are considering it, but you're perhaps perturbed by people titling it as modern day quackery or, just some other nonsense trend, semen retention, along with urine therapy, which is another thing that I'll talk about either in another video or later on in this video, it's considered taboo and not well documented, kind of fringe, despite the fact that both of these things have been done for thousands of years with incredible results. I don't think that any particular body of government will want people doing things that are healthy for them. In fact, we know that that isn't the case. As I say, I'm starting off this video with semen retention, so we'll focus on that. And on the topic of that, there's a very direct assault going on towards over-sexualization and manipulation of people's minds, their bodies, and their souls. There's a guy called, I think it's Al Goldstein was his name. He's this very rich Jewish man. And he talks about the fact that, again, call this anti-Semitic if you want. I'm just reading the words that he wrote. I've seen this quite a lot recently. Some of the Talmudic verses and some of the things that rabbis say and some of the things that businessmen say that happen to be Jewish are so disgusting that when you repeat them, your videos get flagged and you get called anti-Semitic, or that you're, promoting hate speech just from reading the words they say. So I don't know whether this video will get taken down. I'm not going to say any of the horrific things in the Talmud. I'm going to focus on the pornography industry. A big head in this was this guy, Al Goldstein, and he said, in his own words, we Jews are so involved within pornography and make so much pornography because we hate Christ. Look it up. You can look up the quote for yourself. I know it sounds maddening, like, they wouldn't just say it like that. They do. They say it that openly. We make porn because we hate Christ. And what does that mean for young men? What does that mean for anyone that is trying to get closer to God or live in a more Christ-like way? Even if you're not directly trying to pray to Yeshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, if you're not going on that path, but you would still like to tap into Christ consciousness, to elevate yourself from the bounds that we find ourselves in within the captivity of our keepers, let's say. It means that there is a war going on that so many of us are unaware of, and therefore we have no chance in winning because we don't know we're partaking in it. We might get some semblance, some sense of it, but when you hear quotes like this, it's made very clear that there is a direct war, that there is a direct attack on goodness and the goodness in people. Because the evil that prospers from removing this goodness cannot be if we realize this goodness, if we bring it into fruition. And so on that topic, I'd like to talk about retaining your seed, retaining your power. And for women too, abstaining from pornography. Everything within our society at the moment is catered towards elimination of all races who aren't the chosen. and I'm going to have to be very careful about how I say this, while still remaining completely honest too. I'm trying to find the line that I can walk without outright just getting banned. But there is a very clear intent of pushing certain taboos or pushing certain things that previously would have been taboo or understood to be warped or twisted, and then the things that are healthy, the things that are pure, are made taboo. You'll be more accepted within society if you say that you look at pornography of minors, or animated pornography of minors. It's becoming more accepted. MAPS, minor attracted persons, all of this nonsense, which I said would happen years ago when we started pushing towards the whole LGBT I nearly said LGBT clueless then, that just came forward. LGBTQ and all of that stuff. There's been a direct warping of reality. So we've gone from saying, even though I can see this isn't a woman, I'm not going to say that. And even though I can see this isn't a man, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to deny what my eyes see. I'm not going to believe what my eyes see. I'm going to deny reality. Then it's gone on to everything is accepted, everything is permissible, which is literally the codex, the creed of Satanism. That is what Aleister Crowley set as the rules. Everything is permitted. That's where we've come to as a society, where to go to church is more weird in the eyes of some people than to watch hentai, than to be jacking yourself off to tentacle porn. Oh, don't kink shame. Oh, don't shame. Shame has its place. Having some shame has its place. And telling people to not feel any shame when they're doing something that is shameful, when you're watching something that you know isn't good, because there's some part of you buried deep beneath all of the noise and all the people telling, no, everything's permitted. Love yourself. That's love for yourself, really. Watching cartoons or animations of young children in sexual acts is loving yourself, is it? Tying yourself up and being hit a bunch of times and degraded constant, that's loving yourself. I used to be one of these people. I used to be called Sonny the Sadist, for God's sake. Like, I've been through all this stuff, and it's advertised as liberation. How is something that brings you further into your body, into the material world, liberating anything? It further fixates on this mortal vessel, this thing that to achieve true ascension into the divine, into the spiritual, you have to let go of the physical. We have to let go of this body of ours. Death to the world, as the Orthodox Christians say. Only when you relinquish all worldly things, all passions, as they call them. It doesn't mean to not be passionate about anything. It doesn't mean to not play the guitar or sing. The passions are greed, lust, envy. Apologies, good people. I ran out of space on my phone. I've been doing all these living with long COVID updates, and it takes up quite a bit of storage, so I just had to clear out the chaff. But what I was saying is that these things that are sold to us as liberation are really coils that bind us further into our mortal vessel, into this prison of the flesh, where we are slaves to fleshly desire. And once we have a bit, you're always left wanting more and more and more, and they'll be happy to sell it to you. Whether it's pornography, advertised everywhere, can't escape it every time you open Instagram. Press the little search button on Instagram. I guarantee you there will be some kind of sexualized stuff there, whether you search for it or not, because they want you to see it. The people in power, they want you to have your mind set. Oh, the pretty man, oh, the pretty girl, oh, there's a big juicy ass there. That feels nice for a few seconds. That's a nice little dopamine hit. Even if you're not masturbating, even if you're not fully giving over to it, just viewing pornography is a demon. It is evil. It is satanic. And when I used to hear people say this, I'd be like, oh God, these conservative Christians, they think everything is satanic. But after being a slave to it for over 10 years, after ruining relationships because my view of women is completely contorted and I want to fuck them and use them and hurt them because of what I have seen, even if a massive part of me is loving and paternal and kind and caring, I have been twisted. And I had to recognize that these things that feel so good, they are twisted acts. They are not good. And the world doesn't want you to realize that. So to conclude this first bit about semen retention, it's been a transformative experience so far. I had dabbled with it before, but it's 2 weeks now. It was 2 weeks yesterday. Started on Easter. The last Easter Sunday. I thought it was a pretty appropriate time to begin a journey of chastity. And since then, the energy, the prana, as some people call it, it has been inignorable and undeniable. And the amount of energy that I've been able to place into things that are far more important and far more rewarding has been breathtaking. When you stop releasing your energy, when you stop giving your energy to this demonic shit that you know deep down does not serve you, my friend, my dear brother and sister who is watching this, wherever you may be, whoever you are, you know deep down what is truly good and what is truly bad. I believe it says it in Romans somewhere within the Bible. What good are the Jews doing if they have been given the law, if they cannot do what the Gentiles do, who behave better than them despite not having the law, for the law is written within their hearts? There's a truth to that I think we all need to listen to. We do have a moral compass. We do have some idea of what is right and what is wrong. And Christ helps us glean that. He helps with the divination of evil and good, dividing the two and really understanding which is which when we're struggling. But all of us have an internal compass. We've just learned to not listen. We've gotten so good at not listening to that voice, the voice of reason, the voice of truth, the voice of God. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I don't want this video to be crazy long, so I think having two topics that are kind of interwoven is going to be a good way of going about these things. I want to start making these videos more often. I think people are starting to understand that streaming through 1,000 different shorts every day isn't healthy, and are beginning to be able to sit down and just listen for a bit. I certainly have found myself able to do that more in recent times. And so for anyone who wants to listen to the ramblings of a man trying his damnedest to get close to God and to share his experiences that have helped him so far, I want to be able to provide that and hopefully leave the world a brighter place through perhaps gifting what I have learned and shortening the rough, ragged road that people have to walk to get to where I'm at now, which is not perfection, but it's a damn sight better than it was yesterday and the day before and the day before that. So the next thing I want to talk about is love, what it truly means to love, and why the idea of the golden rule or just anything will do, anyone will do. I've had a lot of people recently talk to me about how there's lots of different paths to God, there's lots of different ways to get there. Sure there are. But from what I've experienced so far, there are none that get you so directly to where you would like to be than following Christ. Whether you believe he's God or not, that is not so important as I believe the following is. So there's this idea, there's this thing that is said a lot, which is essentially love your neighbor as you would love yourself. Love people around you as you would love yourself. That's it. Done. Simple, right? Okay. What if you don't love yourself? What if you don't respect yourself? What if you don't have any adoration for yourself? What if you have no discipline? What if you watch pornography 5 times a day? What if you're an alcoholic? What if you cheat on your partner? What if you abuse people around you? Then you don't have very much self-worth. And therefore reflecting your own degraded idea of self-worth onto those around you isn't kindness, it's evil. And I think that's where people go so wrong. They think they don't need help. Once more, the enemy tried to stop us. No, my phone died. What I was saying is that we have become obsessed with secularism and materialism, and society has tricked us into thinking that we don't need any help, that we can do all things without God's grace, and then we beat ourselves up when we can't. We beat ourselves up when we spiral into depression. We beat ourselves up when we find ourselves dependent on a bottle or a script of antidepressants or anything in between. Or we don't, which is even worse. It's okay that I'm drinking every day. It's okay that I just depend on these pills to make me not want to kill myself or feel massively depressed. That's not okay. That's not how we're meant to live. It's not how God's children were intended to exist upon this earth. That much I am certain of. That much I think we can all be certain of. This is not how we were meant to live. This is not what our purpose is on this earth. To just sit around and get through it, to go to work, to take the pills or to drink the bottle or to chain smoke to feel somewhat okay. No. You're so much more than that, my dear brother and my dear sister. You are meant for so much more than that. And so what I'll leave you with is this. Don't love people as if they were you. Love them as if they were God. Because they are. And so are you. In a strange, small way. I'm not coming at this from the ultra-spiritualist, I've taken LSD and now I think I'm God and everyone, I've worked it out. No. Yes, we're all parts of God. That doesn't mean we don't need to submit to His will and His grace. To admit that we are human right now and we are massively flawed. It's not good to think you're nothing, but it's neither good nor helpful to think that you are everything. Equilibrium, my friend, is a beautiful thing. Woo! We nearly fell. There we go. It's a sign. It's a sign to end the video and get out in the sunshine. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. And by love yourself, I mean truly love yourself. Pick up a Bible, do some meditation, practice retention of the things that you are normally guilty of, not just partaking in, but fixating and obsessing over. Yeah, to recap, if there's one thing I could give as advice to any men watching in particular, stop with the wasting your seed, bleeding your life force out willingly, voluntarily. I don't think many of you probably know what it's like to have 2 weeks worth of life within you. I certainly didn't. The last time that I felt like this, I was a child. And yes, my body is still broken at the moment and I'm fixing it. And it's crazy having this much energy and not being able to use it straight away. But to have that energy, to have that peace, to have that clarity, to have that drive, to have that motivation without needing coffee, needing anything, to just wake up brimming with life. What a gift that is. And for the women, stop with the porn. For both men and women, the pornography is a demon. But I think that for women, allowing yourself to feel your true divinity, not degrading shit, but your true divinity. Women are beautiful. angelic creatures. They create life. You're not made to be degraded and to believe that that is your purpose here. You were not made for pleasure. Doesn't mean it's wrong to have it every now and then, but my advice to everyone watching this is to seek love, not pleasure. And within love, you will find true pleasure, everlasting. God bless. Have a beautiful day. I hope that this helps someone somewhere. And I'm going to continue to make these videos in this style, where I have a couple of subjects that I would like to touch upon. And I will give my own humble advice as just another lost sheep trying to make his way back to the Good Shepherd. God bless.